Now here we are, we're working on the Rising Fighter again, and we're going to do some major mods today. First thing I'm going to do, is I tried this brace which went in the back to hold the rear axle, and it weren't very good. It jammed on the gearbox, and I didn't want to start cutting more material out of the gearbox where it's already partly open anyway. That could run into a danger area. And the other thing I tried was I put lunchbox steering parts on the bull ends, which fit nicely to these arms, and the rods. Now the thing is, I'm going to say, don't buy the lunchbox rods. If you've got the plastic ends, just buy the balls and the screws to fit either end on the servo saver and the arms, because I had to notch it out, because to get it to work, because I've tried it, I had to notch it off centre. But when I get the threaded rod I've ordered, just 3mm, I'm going to use that, and all it will require is a bit of sort of cut to length and fitted, and then I can get the servo saver in the centre, which has caused issues, because to get it to work I've had to notch out the chassis a bit. It's not in an area where it's too much trouble, but it does work. But it will reduce the swing, and it'll be a lot better because the saver will eventually be more in a line, because that's how it lines up now if it was central. So it shows how the steering is off. But I'm waiting for that to arrive, so that is a wait. So what I'm going to look at is the suspension. It's a problematic area because these springs are not hard, but it just doesn't seem to have any weight on the rear end that allows them to work. And we do know from the lunchbox it's at a better angle. So what we're going to try, it's easy to show this side, is move them down. And I'm going to, there's a hole already there, and the other side there isn't. But what I'm thinking of doing is just lowering the angle. Let's lose that piece for a sec. So there. And even if I have to drill it through a bit, but that will give a nicer angle to the shock. We might have to cut the body a little bit, but it would only be a trim on this little bit here, maybe. It won't be a lot, but I need a bracket to space it out so I can use much longer screws, because I want it fairly wide. See, the shock is straighter here, so I'll see what I can make for that to work. Well, I've never designed anything quite like this on CAD. This is my first attempt. This is the mount for the new shock absorber, which will be drilled through the plastic. The other end will screw onto the original shock mount place, and that's how far I'm going to move it. This piece here is counterboard wider, where this is just a screw size through, so it gives plenty of support to the screw to hopefully stop the screw bending, because it is a fair distance out. But close that down. There you go. There's the part printed. It's had a rough clean up, and what will happen is it will fit onto there, and then I'm going to mark it here and drill through, and then put a nut on the other side so it's bolted on the other side of this plastic, so it'll have plenty of strength. That's why I've linked it to the original part. I need something the right size to mark it would be good. A round file could be good, because what I'm going to aim for is lining it with the top of the plastic and then pushing the file in, and there's my mark. That I will drill through and bolt the shock on in its new place. The second one for the other side is being printed at the moment, and we'll have a look what this looks like in a sec. So there we go, there's the old mount, and there's the new Bas Boy Rc mount. You can see I put a screw in the top in the original mount. See, the part fits over nice, and then the second one is screwed through and bolted, and it just, all you're doing is drilling one hole, but the screw is well supported, so even though it's long, it shouldn't bend it. Well, that's what I'm hoping. So I'm just waiting for the second one to print and this will be done. Fitting of the body, I'm going to have to slightly trim the top of the shell. I'm going to have to trim a little section out here, which is not too much of an issue. Well, we did expect to do some trimming, but it's only seems to be around that bit, so if we cut a piece out here, I think we'll be alright. So here we go, the custom rear suspension, and without a battery there's a little bit of movement, so it shows changing the angle from here forwards. It lowers the rear axle, so it's going to handle better, because if you look, the line is nice. It won't bottom out. Like I said, I had to design a custom part, which worked out very well, which we showed you previously in the video. And I trimmed the body as just enough so it clear, it looks nice round the suspension and all that, but nobody will notice it's gone. So the last thing is to put the wing on, and we'll see what it's like on the next run, because the car has changed. You know, I'm just trying to reduce the hopping a little bit so it's more drivable. Not going for perfect, but we would like it sort of nearer to a grasshopper or hornet, sort of the way it handles. But I hope you like it. I think they look nicer like this. They're not sticking up high. It's more squat down now, everything. I just think it just improves the overall look and makes it look like a proper buggy. Next thing is to test it, see how well it works. But this is the Bas Boy custom suspension mod.